I'm Jordan Rodriguez, and for my digital presentation, I will be covering post-Pisces game in-class discussion. The Pisces game was developed by Dr. Seeger to simulate sustainability through resource scarcity, in which students were grouped into villages that must collect fish from a communal lake in order to survive. If surplus fish existed, villages could invest in a larger boat or a pond in which fish were protected from any harm. In addition, villages could steal fish from other teams or give excess fish to teams. The major concepts covered by this game are carrying capacity, equity, ethics, sustainable practices, cooperation versus competition, and economies of scale. Upon entering class, the game ended prematurely due to server issues and was left in a very competitive environment. This is because several students had logged into villages other than their own and gave fish to their village. In addition, the lake's population had declined dramatically, and teams did not attempt cooperation until the game's final moments. Competitive gameplay was initially blamed on the villages who participated in account hacking. Some villages began gameplay at a disadvantage, such as Cancer, who had 7 team members and did the following calculation to determine that there would not be enough fish to keep all villagers alive. And there are 61 villagers, each needing 4 fish to stay alive, which results in the requirement of 244 fish. Now there are 12 villages, each capable of gathering 18 fish, which results in a potential supply of 216 fish. In other words, the supply of fish, or the demand of fish, is greater than the supply, so 8 people have to die. This is Cancer's justification for why they acted so competitively and did what they did to stay alive. They explained this was the only way for them to stay alive because there would not be enough fish for all people to stay alive. Many teams that had 4 members or less, such as my own, never realized the dilemma faced by some teams because we had enough fish to keep all group members alive and did not feel the need to seek out fish from other groups or calculate the potential availability of other fish. In other words, none of the teams considered other villages unless they had to in order to consider their own livelihood. This competitive behavior led to the death of nearly 10 villagers and the rapid depletion of the lake's population for the remaining villages to hoard in their personal villages. There were several messages of sustainability built into this game, such as cooperation being better than competition when dealing with the survival of all. This is supported by economies of scale and made possible by all villages pooling their surplus fish into one communal pond controlled by a specific village that will be shared amongst all other villages, but also requires a great deal of trust in that one village to share the fish at the end. Another is that the Pisces game should be thought of as a real-life example of resource scarcity on Earth, and that every person must consider the consequences of their actions before taking resources from a limited supply, whether it is a communal lake or a rainforest or a species of fish in the ocean, and must also consider the consequences of your action on future generations and not just yourself or the people you know or other people in your vicinity. One quote that really stuck with me from this discussion is, "Adversity does not build character, it reveals it." This was given by Dr. Seeger towards the end of our lecture and was arguably the most powerful quote I have heard all semester and almost definitely my entire college career. The scarcity of fish was a great vessel to test the character lying within everyone to see what their true intentions and concerns were when put into a time of crisis. To be fair, my epiphany on the Pisces game being an analogy for real-world sustainability and the need to consider future generations and others before making any action did not come to me until well after this discussion, but it definitely has stuck with me, and am happy I participated in this experience.